Are you ready to unleash your full potential and become unstoppable in your success and leadership?
Welcome to the Unleashed and Unstoppable podcast, where we provide powerful insights and strategies for coaches, corporate leaders, and entrepreneurs. I'm Alexanne Carter.
And I'm Carol Register, and we're certified master neurocoaches who are passionate about helping you overcome your limiting beliefs and optimize your performance.
Each week, we'll be sharing actionable tips and strategies using neuroscience, from interviews with industry experts to solo episodes, to help you lead a life of power, purpose, and possibility on your own terms.
Join our community of like-minded individuals. Hit subscribe now, and let's be unleashed and unstoppable together. Hey, we are so excited to be here with you and bring you the truth about how you truly are unleashed and unstoppable every single week. Oh, today I am so excited, and I know you are, Alex. This is something huge for us. And we're really going to talk to you about relationships, specifically community and the power of community. And if you've been with us for a while, you will have heard that we've quoted Jim Rohn that you are the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Well, what an exciting thing to discuss, because when we're starting to create a specific reality, manifest our visions, really move forward in our intentions and the things that we want, we definitely want to be surrounded by people who are up leveling with us. And we're going to dive deep into why that is and the power of it and what it can really do for you. So, yeah, let's dive in. What do you think, Alex?
So, Carol, I'm going to repeat because you actually cut out on my end. Gotta love technology, right?
Oh,
So what
yeah.
Carol said was that the quote from Jim Rohn, and correct me if I'm wrong, Carol, if that's not how you said it. I always remember it as, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend most of your time with.
Yes.
And it's so, I think it's really exciting when you think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's sometimes when you might, be in a room and look around you and, maybe question yourself, like, am I in the right room? So it can be powerful in terms of you stepping into a room to be surrounded by those that are going to level you up and get you to the next level. And sometimes you can be in a room and think, are these people really in line with my vision and where I'm going? Right.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
just having that insight and the thought of really looking around you. I know when I've experienced this myself, and I just wanted to address this, Carol, before we
I think it's great. Yeah. It's an aspect I hadn't really considered. So I'm so glad you're bringing this up, because diving deep into where we want to be, we also want to consider where we don't want to be.
And also, I think what I've learned when I've kind of gone through this is that there are different rooms for different things that we want to create as well.
Very
right?
true.
There's
Very,
not, like we say, that the sum of the 5 people.
yeah.
You're gonna, we have multiple different areas of our lives and different goals and ambitions. And so different rooms are going to create that based on different aspects of our lives. Right. And so I just wanted to kind of like preface that, because I know for me, that was something that really, I honestly had a bit of a hard time with sometimes, because, you do have these rooms and that are like, you're like, oh my gosh, I love being in this room. And like, these are my people, right? Have you ever said that before? Like, these are my people. And I love being in this room because they help me level up. And then there are some other rooms and areas where I don't feel that. And then I start to question. And then I ask myself, what is the purpose and the goal of this room?
Yeah.
And when I realize that this room is to create, this experience, and this room is about creating this experience, I found myself being able to be so much more surrendered. And versus asking myself, like, or thinking like, should I be here, or do I want to be here? It was like, okay, going back to intention of like, okay, what are the different rooms? And so I just wanted to share that as we dive in here, so that as what we're sharing, the listener can have that in the back of their mind as we're speaking about this, to be mindful of that to ask yourself, what is the purpose of this room, and what are you creating? And I think that's really powerful and help you in that. And you
Yeah,
might have some rooms where you're like, you know what, this isn't the right room for me anymore, and that's
right.
okay too.
And I think as you know, as we discuss this and as we bring it to fruition for you in terms of what's a call to action, there are some measuring sticks that you can use, some parameters that will be really clear and practical for you. So I really love this. And what is the power of community, right?
Mhm.
I know when I have experienced community that I have wanted to be a part of, it has sometimes been challenging simply because I have desired to be a part of community that is at a higher level than where I currently am. Because I've got a vision and a goal, and I'm continuing to grow and to up level. And so I want to be in the rooms with the people who are doing the things that I am in the process of moving towards. And again, taking it back to the B, I want to be at this level. I want to be in that energy. I want to be in that frequency and that vibration. And I really want to be surrounded by that. So, what's happened though in that process is, my wily brain, as our wily brains do, is really wanting to keep me protected and safe and going, hey, you don't belong in this room. This is not for you. You're not there yet. This is not meant for you. And how are you going to measure up? How are you going to make your voice? What can you contribute? Because they're all next level, right? So it's interesting because those are limitations. They're not the truth. They're not lies. We all have things to contribute at any level we're at. And anybody who is playing a bigger game that you may be desiring to play is going to be open to learning always. That's one of the reasons they're at the bigger game. So starting to listen to that brain safety that says, hey, this is too challenging for you. This is too much. You don't measure up to this level yet. All the comparison, right?
That's the word that was just coming to my mind, like the comparinitis, right?
Yeah, the self-sabotage, not only do you not deserve this level of success, but you can't handle this level of success. And so then the fear of success comes in, as well as, all the rest of the voices. I don't know what you've heard, but the I'm not enough voices, you know, I don't fit here.
Well, how I've experienced it is like seeking permission and seeking validation,
Yeah,
proving that I can be there, right? Looking outside, right? It's not the internal, it's the
the
external. So not the
external.
internal knowing, it's the external, like looking for people. I actually got some coaching, Carol, a couple of weeks ago around this because I noticed that, right, same thing, right? Showing up in the room, feeling maybe a little bit intimidated, comparing yourself.
Yeah.
And someone in the coaching I received, which really supported me in
Hmm.
that moment, was I get to choose that I belong.
I love
I,
that.
it's me. I
Yeah.
get to make the decision that I belong at that table or in that room or in that space. Nobody else.
Yeah.
And this is the power in the brain when you choose, when you make that decision, right? We talk about all the time, DIA, when you decide
DIA.
that I'm worthy to be in this room
Yeah.
and that I belong, that I get to be here, that I'm choosing to be here. And I'm here because I want to level up and really get in connected with, of course, right, the vision and the why you're there. And you make that choice and you say, I belong here,
I am meant for more. Yeah.
it shifts.
Yeah.
Right. And yes, you still have, I'm not saying that all of a sudden the internal child is just going to stop. But what I mean is energetically, in
Yeah.
like the heart, right? Like, okay, your brain's saying one thing, but now your heart is saying, no, I belong here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where, being the irresistible leader and being unleashed and unstoppable comes in, because you've
Yeah.
made that decision. You step into who you are as a leader,
Yes.
and you use your
Yes.
voice and you see your power. And it's
It,
it's it's building the muscle of
mm-hmm.
every time you step in the room, remind yourself that I belong. That's going to silence the inner critic. But having that powerful statement, I know for me, after that moment, after I
Yeah.
had that aha moment of realization of like, oh yeah, because I
Yeah.
was waiting. And how
Yeah.
many times do you wait for someone to give you permission? No, I get to give
And to
myself
validate
permission.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you
And
end
that,
up living other people's plans for your life.
yeah,
You're not really
yeah,
trusting yourself and leaning into your own plan, which I
yeah.
love this point. And, the power of being in community with people who are doing the things that you were on the journey of, because it's a big part of identity, right? So I don't want
Mhm.
to we want to be con continually thinking about the words that we're giving our brains. We don't want to be in, I will get there. I can do this, because we're always forward pacing ourselves. We want to be, I am this. And we get to start practicing it by putting ourselves in community where people are there doing the same things. Then we are really in the power of energy. We're all energetic beings. Everything on this planet is energy. And it's really important that we start to recognize that, because, energy moves and flows. And what kind of energy do we want to be surrounded by? And when we're in the power of that energy, what I have found with myself is that it everything shifts. So my vision really starts to become magnified, because I see the struggles that others are going through, and I see, where they have overcome and where they leveled up and where they're on that journey. And it's an elevation process that is unlike any other. It really is. It's like you really do, recognize those rooms where you're going, wow, this is amazing. And you look forward to having that surrounding you all the time, and that level of community and support and advocacy.
And the energies match, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're ever talking to someone who speaks very quickly, yes, I know that can be me many times, right? Do you notice that
Very
you'll
slowly.
right? You'll speed up, right? You'll speed up because you're
Yeah.
matching them. Or if you're speaking to someone who speaks
Yeah.
more slowly, you'll match
Slow
them,
down.
right? Like you
Yeah.
do, like it's so fasting on energy
So
levels,
true.
right?
Yeah,
How
that's a
that
great
takes place.
example.
Or if
Yeah.
someone smiles at you, what do? You smile back. And so
Yeah.
when you understand this, I think this is what's so powerful and exciting, and why Carol and I wanted to bring this to you about talking about community, not just like community, but really leaning into the energy, which is
Yeah.
the internal. And then, yes, okay, what is our brain playing? Like what the role the brain is playing in these moments,
Mhm.
that the energy piece is so powerful. And
Yeah.
then you can work with that and you can level up and match up. And it supports you in being mindful again of the rooms that you're stepping into and what's
Yeah.
the purpose of those rooms as you're stepping into that. And yes,
Yeah.
knowing your brain's going to do its job, right? It's going to have its nice little internal conversation with you, and for you to know that you have the power, right? You're the creator of your thoughts create your reality. You have the power to take control, well, it is to take control, right? To
Yeah.
hijack the
Yeah.
thoughts that aren't serving you and lean into why you're there, the intention, and then match
Yeah.
the level of the energy of those people that are there.
And
And
that's really why you need, or not need, but why it's a benefit to have the neuroscience tools, the
yeah,
neuroscience process that we teach, because it's proven neuroscience, it's a framework. And so when that internal chatter comes up, you have a system to build the
Yeah.
muscle to shift it. And then what happens, for at least this is what I have certainly found and what I've seen with my clients, is that shifting process of putting the neuroscience tools to work, all it begins to accelerate and elevate and happen in an even deeper, more powerful way. Because then all of a sudden you're going into the room, into the community, and you're um, with that energy and with the process that you're using, building the muscle, you're starting to see results, and you're starting to see decisions you can make, actions you can take, results that you can have based on working with your brain and working with what you have the power to surround yourself by in order to assist you on your journey. And I have found that things happen faster for me. Not in every case, not in every time. But there are certain things that I've got some practice in, a depth in. And so when I'm in these rooms and seeing things and learning a different way, things accelerate. And it is such a powerful thing to watch, that we can literally enhance what we're doing. One of the things I think it's really important to bring up is safety. When you're talking about elevating, you do want to put yourself in communities where you are going to feel safe, psychologically safe. You're going to be encouraged, inspired, advocated for, and or there are times when you may want to be in a community that is more challenging for you, like maybe one of Jesse Itzler's Running Man groups, right? You know that it's going to be the last man standing, right? It's going to be something really powerful. That in terms of your using the neuroscience tools and elevating yourself, you want to be with a mentor, a guide, a group of people that allow you to feel safe. And what happens in that process is you begin to trust, because one of the ways that we often get blocked or get unclear, especially with our visions, is when we are feeling unsafe or feeling like the world is not trustworthy for us, that we then have an inability to decide. And the reason we have an inability to make decisions is because we feel frozen. We feel like things aren't safe. They're not trustworthy. And we're going back to our traumas and our experiences, right? The word decide means to cut away. So, in order to make a decision, you are literally cutting things away so that you can make a commitment in that decision. And there needs to be an environment of safety and trust. And so, this is really important when you're evaluating the kind of communities that you want to be in.
Yeah, I love when you know me, I'm also visual, right? And I love when we're able to tie in things that create that visual. And so as soon as you say like the decide is really cutting things away, it's like, of course, right?
Yeah.
Because you're breaking things off that no longer serve you, and you are able to then, put the blinders on and really stay focused on where you're going. And
Yeah.
as you were speaking, Carol, there was something else that was coming to mind when I was when you were talking, when you were speaking and leaning into like like how it can be more rapid, right? The results become more rapid and
Yeah.
enhance more quickly. What I was thinking as we were talking there is actually the negativity bias. Our
Mm,
brains, right,
yeah.
are operated automatically to be 9 times more negative than positive. And
Right.
when you step into a room, especially in a room where you're leveling up and you do find yourself with the comparinitis,
Yeah.
it's less energy to actually go with negativity, but then it takes more energy to go from the
Mm.
negativity to the positive
It's
and
so powerful.
being
Yeah.
open.
Hmm.
When you can step into a room being open,
Yeah.
the moment you're open, it means that you're open to possibility. So you're
Yeah.
not internally playing this game of the no and then needing to coach yourself through to possibility. You step into the room of possibility. Sorry,
Hmm.
you step into the room with possibility and
Yeah.
openness,
Yeah.
and then you it becomes fun because you're like, well, what if? And we have spoken
Yeah.
about this on the podcast multiple times with the power of that question of like, what if?
What if
Like
it
not in a
worked
negative
out
way, but
great? Yeah.
what if? Right?
Yeah.
What could this look like? Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that question and the questions that you ask are so powerful. And that's what I see is when you step into those rooms, one, you're going in there being curious and being open because you are asking questions
Yeah.
and leaning into, yeah, like, why not? Right. And that is going to take so much less energy than if you're letting the brain, which is automated to go to the negative, to like, no, that could never be me. Again, that's your brain doing its job. But
Yeah.
it's this conscious decision and awareness, just like the saying of I belong, right?
Yeah.
It goes conscious to then the unconscious. So when you're consciously making these decisions or stepping in there with that curiosity, the openness,
Yeah.
the trust, right? Because if you are trusting and you have the feeling you feel safe,
Yeah.
your brain is not going into a room already trying to protect you, right?
Yeah.
You are surrendered and you're able to trust and you're able to build those relationships and you're able to be open, which is why what you're saying there, Carol, about that trust is so important
Yeah.
because your brain is not going to go on high alert. You're going to go in there a lot more relaxed. And yes,
Yes. I
you
love
might
that.
feel nervous
Yeah.
and things like that. That's normal. But just really understanding that powerful piece
Yeah.
of building that muscle of possibility, right? And having the awareness piece of like, okay, my brain is going to do this to keep me safe. It's automated to do that. Like that's just how it
Yeah.
goes. And I have the power to interrupt that, right? I have the power to decide in advance. I have the power to cut that off. So when
Yeah.
I walk into that room, I'm open and prepared for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it becomes automatic, which is what's really exciting. And that was as you were talking was what was landing for me. Like, this is what it looks like when we talk about how it goes faster or you're going to get
Yeah.
quicker results is because your brain is now working for you.
Yes.
You're setting yourself up for success
Yeah.
beforehand to create that, not having to play this crazy mind game, which
Yeah.
does take a lot of time and energy. You're already open to possibility as you walk in there.
I think it's so powerful to bring up that negativity bias and how it affects us and what we have the power to do and how that being in that trusting group, with that kind of support can really help you to shift that and to ask the what if from a positive aspect. It's so powerful, right? So, yeah, Alex, this is right, so powerful about what happens when you're surrounded by a community and, really to bring it to a close, you want to look for a community that has a mentor and a guide or mentors and guides, as in our community, that you trust and that you feel safe with. You want to look for those groups that are in alignment with you, your vision, your values. So say look for a group with safety, with trust, and you want to look for a group that is up leveling. Even if everybody is not the same, everybody's unique, everybody's going to be doing their own thing, but is up leveling just as you are, that you're in that energy, you're in that support. Possibilities open up, as you said, opportunities. You begin to maybe experience things you hadn't thought of and ideas that can, be very helpful as well as motivating for you. And, it's like Oh, yeah, that's a whole new thing. That's always exciting. I love the learning part, right? So again, the trust and safety, the up leveling, and being able to be in a place where you can learn and discover new things. Anything else you want to add to that, Alex?
I think what's just coming to mind as like sort of a call to action for the listener today to set yourself up for success in as you walk, even the next time you walk into a community anywhere, right?
Yeah,
Is what are you going to tell yourself? Like, what is that little pep talk? Like, are you going to choose that you belong in there? Like, are you going to get clear on the intention of that room, that space? Are right being open and being curious. So that is just, I would love for the listener to really think about, okay, what what is the intention that I get to set next time before I walk into the room the next time, and
mhm.
to evaluate. I think it's really important to take a moment to evaluate and assess the communities, the rooms, the spaces, the people that you spend your time with, and really look at, are they and are is there alignment with
Yeah,
my vision, my values, and what I'm creating? And yeah, maybe there might be some rooms to revise, maybe there are rooms that you just end up spending a little bit less time in. And
yeah,
that's okay because, we have also different seasons of life. And some of those rooms might serve different purposes in different seasons of life. And that's okay. So just
yeah.
taking that inventory and that stock of that
It's
really is
so
empowering.
powerful. Yeah, truly is.
And and then, be be open. Yeah, that word of openness just keeps coming, right? Like
Yeah,
that being open to what's possible.
being open to what's possible. I love that. And, we are so excited to share with you a new feature that we have available. You will notice in the show notes for our podcast episodes, there is a place where you can text us directly. We do have free podcast community, and um, it's in the show notes. You can join directly, but we would love it if you would send us a text, send us the word community, and please use this feature to let us know what you're enjoying, let us know anything you'd like to hear more about. I mean, it is so convenient and easy. I sent myself a text right away. I was so excited. Like, it was really great. So, we would love for you to text in their community if you'd like to know more about diving into our UU community, our Unleashed and Unstoppable community, which is on Facebook. It is the name, I went blank on the name. It's because I'm sharing this with you, but this surreal moment. So, um, back to you, Alex. What is the name for it?
Of the Facebook group
Yeah, it's
that
the productivity and wealth secrets of high performing leaders. This is our UU Facebook group. And we also have an Unleashed and Unstoppable podcast business page. But the group is free. And we're always updating you about things going on in our world and with the podcast. So, type in community. We're so excited about this.
yeah, so it's productivity and wealth secrets for high performing female leaders. And yeah, there's a link in Apple, there's a link on Spotify, right above the show notes. You can click it and send us a message. And yeah, it's also if you have any podcasts, themes, or episodes, any burning questions that you'd like us to ask and
Yeah.
address on an upcoming episode, please go there and leave us a message. And of course, head on over and leave us a rating and review. We always love hearing from you. And thank you for being part of our community
Yes.
and for tuning in to another episode of the Unleashed and Unstoppable podcast. We will see you next Thursday.
Ciao for now.
Bye.
Bye.
This episode of Unleashed and Unstoppable is brought to you by Easy Way Network.
If you want to amplify your reach, visibility, and generate more sales leads, joint venture partners, and increase your bottom line by one simple login, then Easy Way Network is your solution to greatness. Our all-in-one marketing solutions hub can help boost your event, podcast, and increase your relationship equity by the click of a button. What are you waiting for? EasywayNetwork.com.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Unleashed Unstoppable podcast with your hosts, Alexandra Carter and Carol Register.
If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review, and subscribe.
That's all for this episode, Wildly Ambitious Leaders. See you next week.